is a mess.
We all can't wait to get our snuggles and our love on to just those animals.
Could certainly boost recovery. Missing out on pet therapy snuggles during the pandemic? Trident Medical's got some great news for you. That's ahead. And later, a doggone good time. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile paying ABC News 4 a visit this morning. That's right.
Good Morning Charleston starts right now.
Good morning to you, Charleston. Welcome into Wednesday. I'm John Bruce. It's just the two of us. We're looking at another day to layer up, starting kind of cold, but feeling pretty comfortable out there, right?
Yeah. And at least we're not dealing with the frost this morning or freezing conditions, so we'll take that. But you will need the jackets as you're stepping out the door. Temperatures are in the 40s right now in Charleston, but still falling. About another hour and a half until that sun rises, and that's normally the coldest point of the day. It is in the 30s right now, though, in Somerville, and mid-30s, Moncks Corner to Walterboro. So some chilly temperatures inland. Heavy coats this morning, short sleeves this afternoon. High pressure's in control. We're in for sunshine today. Very comfortable through the second half of the day. So it is going to be warm out there later this afternoon, warmer than it was yesterday. We're going to make it close to 70 by lunchtime. In fact, sunshine and mid-70s this afternoon as you're picking the kids up at the bus stop or from school. Going to be a beautiful afternoon. Beach is a little bit cooler today, though, so the closer you are to the water, the cooler you will be. I'll let you know when rain returns to the forecast. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, let's see how the roads are looking out there on this nice Wednesday morning. Any incidents bright and early out there, Trooper Bob?
Emily, there was a couple things, but it fell off the books. But right now we have a clean slate, and it started off the morning with no frost on the windshield, so that's a good thing. Here's a live look, Ashley River Road. If you're coming in from Somerville, Ridgeville, Givans, Cottageville, headed down towards Charleston, this is what your commute looks like. No different on the interstates. 26 and 526 have a nice ride from Somerville all the way to downtown, or if you're on 526 from 26 all the way to Mount Pleasant, you'll have smooth sailing, actually, in all lanes, east and west. I'll send it back to John.
All right, Bob, thanks. Two opportunities to get a car full of free groceries today. The Community Resource Center, they're hosting two food distributions, both at 2 o'clock this afternoon. First happening in Somerville at the YMCA, that address 208 West Stody Avenue. The second in North Charleston, that's at 3947 Whipper Barony Lane. This morning, the National Weather Service says there's going to be a statewide tornado drill that's planned for 9 o'clock this morning. Again, it's just a test for the system. No need to make any special precautions today. And today, leaders with Folly Beach City Council will meet once again discussing the potential of a smoking ban on the beach. If you'd like all the latest updates on that meeting, you can follow us on our social media accounts and pages at ABC News 4.
We see our patients smile, but they smile differently. And that is something that is priceless for us.
Especially these days, right? A love tradition over at Trident Medical Center making a triumphant return today. Talking about pet therapy. Amy Russo joining us right now from our newsroom. Amy, what's the feeling from staff members there?
Good morning, John. And I can honestly say staff does seem to be quite excited. They are literally rolling out the red carpet for these therapy pups. And this is a fun event the hospital used to partake in daily. Pre-pandemic, volunteers and their certified dogs would come and snuggle up to patients to provide a sense of comfort. With the pandemic, Trident had to do away with it for about a year, but now I'm told everyone is ecstatic to announce pet therapy is returning with 30 volunteers who have been fully vaccinated and will be socially distant. I'm told this could mean even more to patients now, since a lot may be missing their families and their own pets.
Just having that support was just nice to see that sparkle in our patients' eyes return. We face our own struggles caring for patients, and for us to have that enjoyment like the patients, it just means a lot to everybody.
This therapy isn't just restricted to Trident Medical Center. It'll be used across the whole Trident Health system. The therapy dogs will range from big pups to small pups, so there's something for everyone to enjoy. And this afternoon around noon, volunteers and their pups will strut down the red carpet. Hospital staff will be on both sides cheering them on before they go cuddle some patients. Working for you in the newsroom, Amy Russo, ABC News 4.
Always doing it big there at Somerville, man. Renovation's going to begin at Somerville Memorial High School Stadium today as well. That event at 10 this morning at McKissick Field. A pretty good list of speakers here, including Mayor Ricky Waring, as well as pastors and Somerville Council members, the principal, and the football coach. also expected to deliver some remarks. And tonight, Berkeley County's Board of Education, they're going to have a special committee meeting. Members there will discuss the ongoing discussion to include in-house counsel. That meeting tonight at 5:30. Grammy Award winners and Charleston natives Ranky Tanky taking to the virtual stage for a good cause this evening. MUSC's College of Nursing, they're hosting this event. It starts at 8. It's a virtual concert. It can be streamed by logging on to these sites listed right there on your screen. Along with MUSC Nurses Choir, Ranky Tanky is going to perform, so will Shovels and Rope. Mayor Tecklenburg will also be there. You can also give money to support frontline nurses, education programs, and scholarships. Looking ahead now, the Junior League of Charleston announcing their 2021 Little Black Dress Initiative. That's an annual campaign that takes place between March 22nd and the 26th. The campaign brings attention to the effects of poverty in our community, especially among women. JLC members and local women will wear the same black dress for 5 days to illustrate the lack of resources that many women in the financial hardships experience here in the Lowcountry. And chicken sandwich lovers in Goose Creek, well, we're going to have to drive a bit further to get that Chick-fil-A. Don't worry, it's only temporary here. It's the St. James Avenue location announcing that's going to close starting Thursday for some remodeling, and it'll stay closed until May. The restaurant says until they reopen, just stop by their Somerville location for your Chick-fil-A fix. And keep an eye out this week. Yeah, we told you about it. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile here in the Lowcountry. Coming up a bit later on Good Morning Charleston at 6:15. This thing is going to be in our parking lot. We'll check in with their nationwide tour. Maybe, if I'm lucky enough, I'll get a free hot dog. Well, If These Walls Could Talk, that's the title of a new documentary film that explores the College of Charleston's role in slavery and how to set the path forth for healthy reconciliation within the community. This documentary is going to debut Friday at The Bend in North Charleston. On March 18th, there's a planned virtual discussion about the film and its impacts. Meantime, the International African American Museum, they've launched their first digital exhibit, all part of their ongoing partnership with Google Arts and Culture. That exhibit allows audience members to take a closer look at Soligree Island, a community representing an example of one of the surviving African American communities in the South Carolina Sea Islands. Google Arts and Culture listing Soligree as one of the many locations essential to Black history here in the United States. Isle of Palm City Council, they're still split on a new fire chief. Some want to hire an internal candidate. Others say that they want a fresh perspective. Rachel Ellis caught up with one council member who believes looking inside the department is the best way to go for firefighters and for morale.
We learned an internal candidate for Isle of Palm's fire chief rejected the offer. Some city leaders say the position was declined because of a split vote on council. Ryan Buchanan says a motion to only look at external candidates moving forward is the wrong idea.
I would like an internal candidate because they realize the issues that are going on within the department and they can jump in right away and try and solve those issues. A lot of the external candidates want to come in, don't necessarily know the dynamics of the department, and it may take a while for them, to get set into the department.
Buchanan says all 10 of the original candidates should be considered. He also explained there needs to be an open discussion among city leaders. The elected official says he hopes City Council can come to a decision by an IOP council meeting scheduled for later this month. Reporting on the Isle of Palms, I'm Rachel Ellis.
Rachel, thanks. We did reach out to other Isle of Palm City Council members as well as Mayor Jimmy Carroll regarding the special meeting overnight, but we've yet to hear back. Just in time for spring, Patriots Point launching a new annual pass program called Friends of the Fleet Pass. It'll cost you $69. It includes annual admission for the pass holder and a guest. Friends of the Fleet will also get free parking and a 10% discount at the Ship Store gift shop. Southern Living, they've named their 2021 Southerner of the Year, and it goes to, that's right, the man himself, Darius Rucker. The site's feature on Rucker says he's found childhood memories of growing up in Charleston, and thanks in part to his mother. And despite his success on the stage and a country artist as well as a lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish, of course, Southern Living says that Rucker is most proud of his charitable work, including raising millions of dollars for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Jackets certainly still needed this morning. Emily's going to know which morning this week we'll need the umbrellas as well. And it could be early 2025 before work begins on the Highway 41 widening project. We'll list out all the possibilities and challenges leaders in Mount Pleasant and Charleston County are facing. Plus another Low Country official. They're going to hand out violations just how much further the mask ordinance is being extended in the city of Charleston.
Americans could be one step closer to getting those stimulus checks. The House expected to take up Biden's rescue package in just a few hours. I'm Rena Roy in New York, and I'll have the latest coming up.
We're working for you with a Storm Tracker update.
All right, live look outside right now. Another cold morning out there, but not as cold. So we're not dealing with the frost and freeze concerns that we had yesterday, but it's still pretty chilly. You'll still need those winter coats, but it's going to feel like spring later this afternoon. Another beautiful day on tap. Sunshine in the forecast. We may see a little fog out there this morning right around sunrise, but like yesterday, I think it'll mainly be near the water, just those cool air temperatures, and that'll kind of interact with the slightly milder water temperatures. 41 right now in Charleston, still falling. Those temperatures likely back into the upper 30s by sunrise. Full visibility right now around Charleston. Different story if you're headed down to Beaufort County. They're less than a mile there, so there's some fog starting to settle in some areas south of us. For now, though, dry and clear out there, and nothing to slow you down on this Wednesday morning. It is going to be another dry day with lots of sunshine. We have a little rain back to our west starting to show its face, but it's not going to reach us anytime soon. In fact, take a look at our precipitation forecast. Nothing until at least the end of the weekend, perhaps even longer. 10%, that's a pretty low percentage, but we do have that very spotty shower chance on Sunday. Better chance though next week, so we have at least several more days here with dry weather. Sunshine today. Now notice the difference in temperatures depending on location. Could be a 10-degree difference between inland areas and the coastline. That water temperature right now is cool, and it's affecting the beaches. So 66 for the high on Folly Beach today, 65 Sullivan's, but 75 in Somerville, 73 in Goose Creek. Around downtown, I'd say in those low 70s, perhaps a little bit cooler. So the water temperature certainly making a difference. It is in the mid 50s. We're getting light winds in off the water today with that sunset at 6:24, and once the sun goes down, getting cool again. Low 50s up and down the coastline, mid 40s away from the coastline. Once again, we're getting a little bump up in those temperatures each and every day, both in the afternoon and in the morning. So feeling pretty good. In fact, warming up even more by later this week. By Friday and Saturday, we are in the upper 70s. Still dry out there through the start of the weekend. I'll time out that next weather maker that could bring us some rain, though. Let you know what it'll do to our temperatures. That's coming up in the 7-day. In the meantime, let's get a check of those roadways on this Wednesday morning. Hopefully still quiet out there. How's it looking, Trooper Bob?
Yeah, Emily, it's still quiet, but we do want to remind folks of the time change coming up this weekend, that's for sure. Here's a live look at Main Road if you headed out towards Kiowa or Seabrook Island. Very quiet at this hour. Savannah Highway is the same if you're coming in from Ravenel headed into downtown. Bees Fair Road looks good out to Main Road if you're coming down from 61. Glen McConnell Parkway, nice shot all the way to downtown on Ashley River Road. And Interstate's still looking good. The closest crash we have to us right now is down in Beaufort, so nothing for our area. Fingers crossed. Hope it stays that way.
Bob, thanks. Charleston City Council, they voted to extend their face mask ordinance. That mandate's been extended until April 14th. And we spoke with one council member who supports that extension, saying that mask wearing must continue.
We still have an obligation to protect ourselves and protect those visitors. And the mask, by all scientists, by all health officials, has a positive impact in controlling and slowing down the spread of this virus. And we need to do that.
Council is set to meet again April 13th. That's when they'll decide whether or not to extend or end that ordinance. It's an e-learning day in Dorchester District 2 this morning. More teachers going to be getting that COVID-19 vaccination today. Middle and high school classes will operate, though, as normal.
Just praying that things get back to normal and the kids can get back to a normal summer and a normal school day.
Some spring breakers already enjoying the sand, while a few colleges in our state have canceled their spring breaks. The majority of schools in the country are letting their students take a week off. Business owners and rideshare drivers we spoke with on the Grand Strand say they're excited for the business. The first wave of schools start taking time off next week. The latest COVID-19 numbers in South Carolina continuing that downward trend. According to DHEC, 425 new COVID-19 cases were logged statewide Tuesday. The percent positive rate went up a little bit to 4.7%. 3 people did lose their lives thanks to the virus. But a few weeks ago, we were reporting higher numbers like 20 or more deaths per day. United States House, they're expected to take on that COVID relief bill today, planning a final vote for later this morning. Meanwhile, the fight to vaccinate Americans continues as more states lift COVID restrictions despite warnings from health officials. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
As millions wait to get their shots in the fight against COVID-19, they're also anxiously awaiting the next round of stimulus checks. The House planning their final vote on President Biden's $1.9 trillion relief package later this morning.
It is so exciting, as you know, because of what it does. Vaccines in the arms of the American people, money in their pockets, children safely in school, workers safely back to work.
The White House says a family of 4 making under $150,000 a year is going to get a $5,600 stimulus check plus $2,600 from the child tax credit, a total of $8,200 per family. Meantime, a major milestone in this pandemic, more people have been fully vaccinated here in the U.S. than infected with the virus. The CDC says about 10% of the U.S. adult population has gotten both shots. The agency issuing new guidelines saying fully vaccinated people can gather in small groups indoors without wearing masks.
A big relief, absolutely.
But health officials are urging Americans not to let their guard down. Wyoming is now the 6th state to lift its mask mandate, joining 11 other states with no face covering requirements. 2 more also planning to ease restrictions next month. Overnight, the state of Texas reopening, this neighborhood filled with people, some with masks, some without. But some business owners are keeping their own mask rules in place, with the statewide one now gone.
Before you enter that establishment, you need to know what's expected as a guest. You need to follow those guidelines.
And back to the relief bill, President Biden is expected to sign it by the end of this week. And he says from there, checks could start going out this month. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
So to come right here, the latest on the investigation into a fatal crash that snarled traffic on 26 for hours. And later, the ceremonial dirt's been broken in Somerville, a new facility aimed at saving lives, in case you missed it. .523 and some stories in case you missed them. We've learned the identity of a man killed in a wreck that we first told you about Monday. The coroner's office tells us that 46-year-old William Myers died in this multi-vehicle collision. It happened Monday afternoon right on I-26 near mile marker 187. That's in the Ridgeville area near Highway 27. Highway Patrol and the Berkeley County Coroner's Office are investigating. An update on that new fire station near the old Sofa Superstore site on Savannah Highway. Charleston City Councilman told us that Fire Station 11 is expected to be open by the summer. That'll new facility replacing that nearby outdated fire station in West Ashley.
Well, the sun will be coming up here in just over an hour. It's going to be another cool morning out there, dropping into the 30s in many locations. 6:36, the sun will be coming up, and we're going to see a lot of it again today. A beautiful afternoon. In fact, warming up quickly after a cool start. We are headed for mid-70s inland today. Mid-60s, though, along the coastline, so certainly cooler near the water. The warming trend continues, and by tomorrow, we are in the mid-70s, but upper 70s for Friday and Saturday. More sunshine in the forecast going into the start of the weekend. A few more clouds by the end of the weekend. Early next week, our next front will come in. It will bring a chance of rain into the forecast, I think mainly by Tuesday, but we could have some chances on Monday. Temperatures will return closer to average with highs right around 70 degrees.
A 94-year-old Mesa woman looking to stay busy amid the pandemic, picking up a new hobby, sewing pillowcases for kids in the hospital. Frances Chenoweth volunteers for a nonprofit called Ryan's Case for Smiles, which seeks to comfort kids battling cancer or other serious illnesses. Chenoweth has so far sewn 80 pillowcases with the help of a family who buys the fabric. She says when places reopen, she may just keep sewing. 3 organizations in Massachusetts teaming up to bring COVID-19 to those with health and mobility issues in a pair of communities. The Last Mile Vaccine Delivery Program, a collaboration between Makeson Medical, Firefighters Union, and Brewster Ambulance Service. Together, they brought the second doses to those who can't travel, like Joan Abbott, who was able to see her grandkids in just 2 more weeks. Volunteers, thousands of them, answered the call when Seattle's largest healthcare system got a mandate from Washington State to create a mass COVID-19 vaccination site. Swedish Health Services also partnered with Seattle University across the street, using one of its halls to administer the shots. Hospital officials say they couldn't do it without the volunteers who did everything from direct traffic to check people in. All right, more on that fatal fire in Camden, why officials now say it may have been intentionally set. And later, CBS, NBC, PBS, even the History Channel, you may recognize this face, remembering an award-winning journalist who's passed away.
Continues right now.
Welcome back. Just about 5:30 on this Wednesday morning. Another cool one out there, but not as cold. We're in the upper 30s and low 40s right now. 41 in Charleston, 39 Somerville, Mount Pleasant 39, mid-30s Walterboro and Moncks Corner, but nobody below freezing this morning. So an improvement out there in temperatures, and they're going to continue to improve over the next several hours. Once the sun comes up, we'll start to warm up a little bit more. 50s by 9 a.m., 60s by 10 a.m., and 70s by early afternoon, with many of us in the mid-70s today. Still dry, still sunny out there through the entire day. Watching, though, another front start to form back to our west. So raining in other parts of the country. East Coast, though, still dry this morning. I'll let you know when that rain could reach us and have a look to when things start to cool down a little bit more. That's coming up in my full forecast. Let's see how things are looking on this Wednesday morning on the roadways with Trooper Bob.
Yeah, Emily, it's been quiet. I hit a little bit of fog on the Stono Bridge just a couple minutes ago as I came over there. Saw a beautiful sunrise from there this morning, or excuse me, early yesterday morning. As far as the interstate's looking good, 526, 26, no delays anywhere, no wrecks to report at this hour. If you're coming out of Goose Creek, it's pretty much a straight shot on 52 through Otranto onto the 52 connector.
Don't forget, ABC News 4 always working for you with those drive times as well as national and local headlines, all scrolling for you at the bottom of your screen. We're continuing on this half hour with your rapid rundown. More signs of trouble at the border. Immigration camps near Mexico are overflowing. Many of the immigrants trying to enter the U.S. say they're citing the new administration. The Biden administration says the majority of migrants, though, are being turned away at the border and refusing to describe that situation as any type of crisis. Veteran journalist Roger Mudd has passed away. Mudd, who spent more than 3 decades on network television, passed away Tuesday from complications of kidney failure. The longtime political correspondent and anchor began working on CBS in 1961, covering elections, Congress, and political news. He was on the air the night that Elvis died. Roger Mudd was 93 years old. And terrifying video out of Nevada. Check it out. An icy highway in Reno had to be shut down Tuesday morning. Not fast enough, though. This footage from a state trooper there. Nearly 20 vehicles crashing right into each other in the span of just 30 minutes. And an Uber driver in San Francisco says he was harassed and mocked by 3 unruly passengers. The driver says he asked the passengers to put on a mask. The video shows one passenger taking off a mask and coughing while another woman laughs and coughs. The woman then steals the driver's phone, rips off his mask while allegedly insulting and threatening him. Police, we're told, are now investigating. It's 5:32. Project leaders for the Highway 41 widening project presented their revised plan at last night's Mount Pleasant Town Council meeting. If approved, it would divert traffic around the historically Black Phillips community. Some worry, though, that the newly proposed route could disturb other historical sites.
They know that there are 4 known cultural resources located on Laurel Hill. The one that we are impacting in this right-of-way for the bypass road is there are no graves, it's scattered pottery and some other artifacts like that. And so, there will be the due diligence done.
Those against the revised concept said the project is simply not a viable solution, but those in favor say the extra $55 million price tag will be worth it.
This presentation did not look like an improvement to Highway 41, but a demolition to Park West and Dunes West. $187 million is grand larceny for the taxpayers.
What is $57 million when you're talking about people's lives, when you're talking about their children's and their children's lives? So anyone here that thinks it's all right that you can destroy a community so you can get to where you want to go faster, then I would say you might need to check your pulse.
Project leaders say they plan to meet with the surrounding neighborhoods in the next 7 to 10 days in order to get more feedback. And new this morning, Charleston Symphony Orchestra making some changes to their business model to stay financially strong during the COVID pandemic. They're planning to ramp up their partnership with the Charleston Gilliard Center, redeveloping its artistic leadership. Before COVID, the orchestra spent a decade balancing budgets, but leaders say the sharp drop in ticket sales last year cost almost $1 million in revenue. And here is that groundbreaking ceremony for what soon will be the Somerville Breast Center. That new center focused on providing advanced care to women, including advanced imaging technology. It's due to open in the summer. 5:34 to our crime alert. Beaufort County deputies investigating the stabbing had sent one person to the hospital. They say this started as an argument between two brothers in Bluffton. That victim rushed to the ER. The suspect, we're told, is in custody, and that incident is still under investigation. 59-year-old Terrence Hill, he's being charged with criminal sexual conduct. Tuesday, SLED agents say they arrested Hill for committing alleged sexual acts with children. He's being hit with 3 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor under 11 years old. He's currently being held in the Beaufort County Detention Center. And police in Bluffton say 2 more suspects in connection to a deadly shooting turned themselves in on Tuesday. Police say that Jimmy Green and Tylee Cheneyfield are both facing charges of murder and attempted murder. They say that a Bluffton High School student was killed Friday in a shooting. 2 other people were injured in that attack. And Charleston police still on the lookout for people involved in 2 separate assaults in downtown Charleston. Take a look. The first happening on Meeting Street. This was February the 12th. There are images on your screen. Police say these people may have information that could help in their investigation. Meantime, about 2 weeks later, another assault downtown. This time it was at the corner of King and Calhoun. Charleston police say they're searching for these 6 people. They're wanted in connection with an aggravated assault. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Charleston police. Well, we're talking about a photo. It's now gone viral, appearing to show 2 Low Country students mocking the death of George Floyd. It shows one student kneeling on another's neck with the caption, "I can't breathe." And now Berkeley County school officials are investigating this photo. A student at Berkeley High School now claims the students in that photo are her classmates. She says it's not the first time that something like this has happened. BCSD officials did not confirm what school those students attend. And head of Charleston's NAACP chapter says this is a serious problem.
These are young folks that have lived in a integrated society, and they're behaving in a way that says, these lives don't matter.
A parent of a student not in that photo claims it's all being taken out of context. She says this is from 7 months ago and was just 2 boys wrestling. We are still working to confirm if that is true.
I'm here today to express my full support of House Bill 3620. As you all know, South Carolina is not immune from hate crimes, having been the scene of what may be the most horrific hate crime in the history of our country. Hate crimes and hate incidents are major issues for all police because of their unique impact on victims as well as the community. They are different than other crimes as their impact on specific groups of people directly affects community stability and compromises trust.
Charleston Police Chief Luther Reynolds there, joined by a number of leaders statewide Tuesday, showing support for a hate crime bill in South Carolina. Tuesday, the Constitutional Laws Subcommittee met to hold testimonies on Bill 3620. If passed, it would add penalty enhancements for certain crimes that were motivated by sexual orientation, race, gender, or other characteristics. It would also allow the victim to sue for civil damages. Over in Horry County, a woman accused of killing her stepson will have more time to review evidence before she stands trial. Letitia Stout is accused of killing 11-year-old Gannon Stout. Gannon, who moved from Horry County to Colorado with his parents 5 years ago, was found dead last year after an extensive 2-month search. In a fire in a house in Camden that killed 2 people, it's now been ruled an act of arson, and one of the deaths now considered a homicide. The only survivor, Julia Riley Sulmlin, says she tried putting out the flames in this home on Lighton Street and to save her husband, 65-year-old Avery Slinton, and niece, 48-year-old Jeanette Richardson. Riley says that she and her niece had a disagreement about putting Richardson in a nursing home. Investigators say that Richardson lit a pile of clothes on fire with a cigarette lighter. Crews found Richardson dead inside that home Friday. Smolin died on the way to the hospital.
And I'm going to miss my husband so much because he was a pastor and he was teaching me how to be a pastor. We were working on that. I thought I was going to lose my mind when I lost my 2 favorite people in the world.
Julia says she is alive today because of a good Samaritan. It says that she was only married to her husband for 4 months when this happened. Homeowners up in Socastee say they finally got the news they've been waiting for years. Horry County receiving $15.6 million to help with buyouts and infrastructure projects. Horry County Councilman Cam Crawford says that officials are looking to buy out about 60 families in Socastee. The process will begin in the summer, but families say they're ready right now. Many have had a run-in with flooding at least once.
Is repetitive, and now it's becoming a yearly occurrence here, whereas before it was more storm related, hurricane related. So now it's yearly, multiple times a year. Last year we had 2.
This is our 4th time dealing with water up to the house. This is our 1st time dealing with it in the house.
That homeowner says she's not safe and calls where she lives a flood zone. Residents in Socastee filled out a relocation form passed out by county officials last year. Councilman Crawford says that's the form officials will use when contacting people to be bought out. A timeline for contacting residents, though, has not yet been announced. Governor Henry McMaster now has his first Chief Resilience Officer. The reins going to State Disaster Recovery Office Director Ben Duncan. As Chief Resilience Officer, Duncan will oversee grant programs on rebuilding and repairing homes damaged by severe weather. The Disaster Recovery Office manages federal funding for those projects. And Darlington Raceway, they're going to host their 3rd annual Terrence Caraway Memorial 5K on September 2nd this year. Runners will get to compete on the same start and finish line as NASCAR champions at the Raceway. That virtual 5K race for fans who can't make it will be held on Darlington's website. The race will honor the life of South Carolina Police Sergeant Terrence Caraway. He died in line of duty in Florence back in 2018. Clear and cool out there this morning for sure. Great viewing for the space station flyover. Emily's going to tell us how you can see it from the comfort of your home after the break. Plus, Buckingham Palace now responding as the fallout continues. More in that bombshell interview with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex coming up in our Morning Buzz. All right, woke up to this one this morning. It's 5:44. British television personality Piers Morgan is leaving Good Morning Britain. The UK broadcaster ITV made that announcement Tuesday, saying that Morgan made the decision and the network accepted it. That news came after Morgan stormed off the Good Morning Britain set Monday following his attacks on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And now to the royal fallout after that Harry and Meghan interview with Oprah. The Queen breaking her silence now, but her response doing anything but silencing critics. ABC's Deirdre Bolton has more.
This morning, crisis talks are reportedly underway at Buckingham Palace after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle revealed how race and mental health contributed to their tense relationship with the royal family.
There's a lot that's been lost already.
The interview with Oprah dominating the British tabloids this morning. The headlines are royal sadness and recollections may vary, taking words from the Queen's short statement responding to the bombshell interview, which reads, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan." The rare response coming after Meghan claimed the royal family refused to get her help when she had suicidal thoughts. The Duchess also claiming there were conversations within the family about how dark their baby's skin might be.
He won't be given security. He's not going to be given a title. And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? The Queen's statement did not address those specific accusations, but said the issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning, and added, while some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. The Queen's 3-sentence statement ending, Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much-loved family members.
Sir, can I ask, what did you think of the interview?
Prince Charles dodging reporters Tuesday. This morning, one poll shows a third of Brits are more sympathetic to the Queen after the interview. On the streets of London, reactions are mixed.
I wouldn't say it's so much racism. I'd say they're very old-fashioned, stuck in their ways.
Keep your dirty laundry to yourself, that's my opinion. And what will it achieve?
Deirdre Bolton, ABC News, New York.
National Geographic unleashing the trailer to Secrets of Wales. That's a 4-part docuseries produced by filmmaker James Cameron, narrated by actress Sigourney Weaver. It filmed over 3 years across 24 locations around the world. The project takes a deep dive into the world of 5 different whale species and their culture. It'll be available to stream on Disney Plus April 22nd in celebration of Earth Day. Speaking of James Cameron and Sigourney Weaver, Avatar reopening in China this weekend, according to multiple reports. It needs about $7.4 million to take back the all-time global box office mark from Avengers Endgame. Both films made just under $2.8 billion, and due to mergers, both are now owned by Disney. So there you go.
Now on Good Morning Charleston, we're working for you with a storm tracker update.
Well, it's another clear and cool morning out there right now, but clear conditions, great for what we could see here in just over an hour. The International Space Station flyover happening shortly after 7 a.m., 7:01 to be exact, and it's a 7-minute pass. So that's good news. We have a good chance of seeing it out there, even though the sun will be coming up before that. Still very clear conditions and should be able to see it up there. It's going to appear above the northwest horizon and disappear over the east-southeast horizon. And like I said, you get 7 minutes. So pretty good viewing out there. Dark and early on this Wednesday morning. It is clear, it is cold, but it is not as cold as it's been. 41 right now in Charleston. May fall another degree or two before the sun comes up. So right around 40 for most of us at sunrise this morning. Mid-30s though away from the coastline, where it is a little bit drier out there. Dry everywhere as far as no rain in the forecast today, though. We are going to see clear conditions through the entire day. That next weather maker starting to form back to our west, but not going to reach us anytime soon. So dry forecast, just a cool start. We're in the low 40s here for the next few hours. Upper 40s by 8 a.m., 50s by 9 a.m. and 60s by 10 a.m. This afternoon, making it into the 70s. Now, you may be sneezing lately, some itchy eyes perhaps, and it's all thanks to that tree pollen. High levels of tree pollen have been out there, and that will continue here for several more days. A little bit lower, though, grass and mold at moderate levels for today. Temperatures mid-70s, but that's inland. Along the beaches, we're going to stay in the mid-60s, so quite a difference depending on location today. That water temperature is cooler. It's in the 50s right now, so that's going to impact the beaches as far as the air temperature. 48 for that overnight low. It is going to be cool again, but not as cold, so temperatures bumping up a little bit each day. Our next weather maker not coming in until early next week, so we're dry for a few days. By late Saturday, we'll get some clouds, small rain chance on Sunday, better chance so Monday into Tuesday with that front coming through. Shouldn't be a ton of rain, and it's not going to bring us a major cool down either. Temperatures stay slightly above average, even going into early next week. A look ahead to those temperatures for the weekend that's coming up in the 7-day. Let's see how the roads are looking now and if it's still quiet out there with Trooper Bob. Bob, you seen any more fog?
You know, no, Emily, it's very quiet out here, especially with not just the weather, the fog, and just the traffic also. Take a look at this. This is westbound 26. Looking over the wall right now on the eastbound side, as you can see, traffic's flowing right past the 52 connector out towards downtown. Traffic's flowing in and out of the crosstown, looking good if you're coming in from Folly Road on the James Island connector into downtown.
Bob, thanks. Take a look at this. A video speaking for itself. A grandmother in New York given a prescription to hug her granddaughter after getting her second COVID-19 vaccination. The doctor made that script for Evelyn Shaw, reading, quote, "You're allowed to hug your granddaughter." It was Shaw's first hug in over a year, she says. Coming up next, Kia issuing an important warning that they say some drivers need to leave their cars outside the garage. And the CDC says about 10% of our population now vaccinated against COVID-19. How much Walgreens says they've contributed to that mission.
Another day with beautiful weather in the forecast. Another day with a cool start out there in the 40s here for the next several hours, but rising into the 60s by lunchtime today, and many of us near 70 this afternoon. In fact, staying nice and warm through the afternoon. Some spots inland in the mid-70s, some spots near the coastline a little bit cooler in the mid-60s, but all of us sunny and dry. Looking ahead to the weekend, if you're traveling around the region, some real warm air filtering into Florida. 86 in Tampa on Saturday, 70s in Atlanta. If you're headed up to North Carolina, a little bit cooler near the coastline. Anywhere near the water this time of year tends to be chillier because that water temperature is chillier this time of year. But still, air temperature is going to be nice inland. 74 tomorrow with sunshine, 78. By Friday, staying warm for the start of the weekend. Our next weather maker comes in early next week. We could see a spotty shower on Sunday, but I think a better chance Monday and Tuesday as that front comes through. But temperatures stay at or above average all the way through the start of next week.
Southwest says it's going to add a route to Myrtle Beach for the summer tourist season. The Myrtle Beach Sun News reporting that the airline made that announcement in a news release, but didn't say exactly when those flights would begin. The airline said it'll release that aims to appeal to travelers who usually drive. And Kia is issuing a recall for nearly 380,000 SUVs and sedans that could be at risk for catching fire. This applies to many Sportages made between 2017 and 2021 and Cadenzas built between 2017 and 2019. Until the problem is fixed, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration recommending parking those Kias outside and away from any structures. The CDC says it's looking to partner with Dollar General in an effort to accelerate the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine in rural areas of the United States. Dollar General, one of the nation's largest retailers, with more than 16,000 locations. And Walgreens is helping to get the U.S. vaccinated against COVID. Company officials say that they have administered about 5 million vaccines in stores, clinics, and long-term care facilities. Walgreens is close to completing its long-term care facilities vaccination plan and says it's branching outward. Advocates of it for the environment say it's going to benefit while you might have put out the flame if you choose to visit Folly Beach soon enough. And how you can experience part of the new International African American Museum from the comfort of your home.